After my husband passed away, I kept a $28 million inheritance a secret. My daughter-in-law told me to go live on the streets. 3 months later, an eviction notice arrived at her door. She handed me a trash bag. Not a box, a trash bag. One of those flimsy black ones you use for yard clippings. She held it out with 2 fingers like she was doing me a favor. You have until Sunday, she said. We need the space. Sunday was 4 days away. I had lived in that house for 34 years. I'd painted every room, planted the garden out front, replaced the kitchen floor on my hands and knees with Raymond. The summer our son turned 3. And Crystal, who had been in my family for 6 years, was handing me a trash bag and calling it generosity. Marcus stood in the doorway with his arms crossed and his eyes near the floor. 41 years old. I kept waiting for him to say something. He never did. I didn't cry. I didn't argue. I took the bag. What I packed? 2 sweaters, my blood pressure meds, the cardigan Raymond bought me for our 30th anniversary, my Bible, and a brass key he had pressed into my palm at the hospital 3 weeks before he died. He'd grabbed my wrist with both hands. Box 114, he said. Midtown Savings on 53rd. Don't tell Marcus. Don't tell anyone. Go alone. I nodded the way you nod when you think someone's confused. He'd been on heavy medication. The doctors kept adjusting things, but Raymond looked at me with completely clear eyes and said, "Promise me, Eleanor." So I promised. I moved into my friend Carol's spare bedroom. 67 years old, sleeping on a twin mattress with a broken box spring that listed to the left. The window looked out onto a neighbor's fence. Crystal texted me 3 days after I left. She'd photographed my china cabinet, the one Raymond and I bought at an estate sale in 1994, and refinished together in the garage, and written one line underneath: "Getting rid of this. Let me know if you want anything before Saturday." I stared at that message for a long time. Then I looked at the brass key sitting on the nightstand. Box 114, Midtown Savings, 53rd Street. I went on a Tuesday morning, wore my good coat, told Carol I had an errand. The box was narrow and heavier than I expected. Inside, a manila envelope, 3 USB drives, a folded letter in Raymond's handwriting, and a business card for an attorney named Gerald Ditch with a note on the back. "Call him first, before you do anything else." I read Raymond's letter standing in the vault. It was 4 pages. His handwriting got shakier toward the end, but the words were careful. He'd started investing in 1998 through a financial advisor he'd known since college. When his father's trucking company sold in 2004, he took his inheritance and put it entirely into the market. Never touched the principal. Let it sit for 20 years while we clipped coupons and drove the same Honda until the transmission failed. He wrote, "I know this looks like I was keeping something from you. I was, but not to control you, to protect you." I watched Marcus change the moment he thought there might be money involved. I didn't want that for us. I wanted us to be exactly who we were. $28 million. Irrevocable trust since 2017. My name only. When I called Gerald Fitch, he picked up on the second ring. He'd been expecting me. Raymond had contacted him a year before the diagnosis turned serious and had been meticulous about every detail. Everything was legal, airtight, and entirely mine. No claim from Marcus or Crystal could touch it. He asked if I was somewhere safe. I said I was staying with a friend. "Don't move quickly," he said. "Let them think they've won." 2 months later, Gerald connected me with a real estate attorney named Patricia Sue, 26 years in property law. The kind of calm that comes from having seen everything. She had identified the building where Marcus and Crystal rented their apartment. The owner had been trying to sell for 8 months, stretched thin, tired of the maintenance calls, ready to be done. We made an offer through a holding company Gerald had structured with no traceable connection to Eleanor Voss. Fitch Property Holdings LLC, cash, slightly above asking, 11-day close. He accepted before the week was out. Patricia drafted the tenant notice herself. 30 days to vacate. Standard language, new ownership, operational restructuring, nothing personal, nothing traceable. The notice went out on a Friday. By Saturday morning, Crystal had called me 4 times. I let everyone go to voicemail. Her messages went from confused to angry to something that sounded almost like desperation by the 4th one. The last message: "I know this is you, Eleanor. I don't know how, but I know it's you." I listened to it twice. Then I set the phone down and finished my coffee. Raymond always said patience was the only revenge worth taking. I used to think he meant it as a comfort, something to say when things felt unfair and there was nothing left to do. I understood now that he meant it as a strategy.